Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Variable Barricade and the true ending! Just biding our time until we find out Kasuga's related to us and it crushes all my dreams. But again, in your face game, I'm okay with that shit now. Little did I know Biroshana was going to prepare me for Kasuga being related to me and me not giving any fucks about it. So, in your face game, you thought you were going to pull the wool over my eyes, and now I'm like, I'm into it. So, I mean, I'm not. But I will make an exception for Kasuga. Fuck that shit, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so we're just continuing in the true route. So, behind the scenes, chatting with Samugi about the truths grandfather told me, she reveals who the likely mastermind is! The day after I heard the news at the main house, I invited Samugi and Arimura to have a girl talk session to clear my confused head. Honestly, it was too serious for me to worry about on my own. I wanted someone to listen to me. So that's what grandfather told me. I explained to them in detail what I had heard yesterday. I told them about the suitors and the branch families, and Taiga's theory about grandfather actually caring for me. Grandfather's more of a problem than the suitors are, to be honest. Taiga says it's true, but I just can't believe it. The two of them listened to me in silence. But when I finished my story, Arimura was the one who reacted unexpectedly. Really? Sounds believable to me. What? I don't know much about your relationship with your grandfather, but from what I've heard, I'm guessing it's true. Yes? Arimura spat out her words with a much more resentful expression than her usual apathetic look. Arimura, what in the world do you mean? And Taiga's right. Samugi declared this, interrupting my attempts to pursue the matter further. It's certainly confusing, but from my point of view, it was apparent. I recall what I had discussed with Samugi over lunch before going to Kamakura, and she definitely told me that grandfather must love me very much. But, I never felt that way before, not even once. I felt embarrassed about how much I denied it. Samugi just shook her head at me slowly. It's not impossible. I mean, there's someone who's been encouraging this. Someone who's been cultivating this misunderstanding rather than correct it. What? You mean Kasuga? Okay, I was like who the mastermind is, and then I was like, are we going to talk about, freaking Ichiya's brother? No, okay, what? Wait a minute. All right, so first you're going to throw in that Kasuga's my fucking brother, and then you're going to throw in he's trying to, ruin my life? But that's not the Kasuga that I know. He loves me. Why would he try to keep me and my grandfather apart? I don't understand that. Stop it! Don't make Kasuga evil! Game! Rude! Look, you can make Kasuga my brother, and that's fine. I'm still in love with him. But then you're gonna make him, evil and vicious, and he hates me? Oh! That hurts. That's just rude. Oh my god. To my surprise, Samugi noted quietly but firmly. That in itself was completely unbelievable. What are you saying? And that can't be. I mean, Kasuga's the only one who's been fighting alongside me and protecting me this whole time from that old coot. Which means he's in the best position to control you, right? Kasuga wants to marry me? I feel like that's not... Do we get to have Kasuga? Wait, okay, maybe back it up. Maybe he's not related to us, and that's why it's yeah, he's here because he doesn't want us to marry any one of these bastards, and he wants us to run away with him. I'm okay, I like that too. I like that better. That's basically what I've wanted the whole game since Kasuga fucking rolled up in my view. It was can we just run away with him? All right, let's go. Come on. Maybe? But saying he controls me is absolutely ridiculous. It's really fucking not. We do whatever the fuck Kasuga tells us. Come on. So she's completely oblivious. Well, I guess there are no surprises there. Arimura sighed, then she and Samugi suddenly looked at each other. Arimura, this might be a good opportunity, you know? Fine by me. It'll make things easier that way. What on earth are they talking about? Seriously, this is getting weird. It was the same as when I'd heard what Taiga had to say yesterday. My body began to shake a little. Don't black out. It felt like an unforeseen, almost false reality was suddenly descending upon me. I know this is going to get weird. I'm like, do you feel on edge? You're like, wait. What is happening here? I was in a daze. Arimura and Samugi turned to me with serious expressions painted on their faces. Spacey, as your best friend, I have to be honest with you. You have too much faith in Kasuga. How dare you? Spacey, Kasuga has feelings for you that go beyond what's appropriate. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted. Wait, unless you're going to tell me the feelings that are beyond appropriate is because he thinks of me as his family because I'm his half-sister. I'm just throwing it out there. This is like the best part of this game right now. This moment. It just makes me so happy. So wait, Samugi, are you telling me that you think Kasuga's in love with me? Absolutely. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. They're not going to let us have it. This is you're just dangling the carrot in front of me and you're going to rip that fucker away, aren't you? To give you some proof, not long after I became your friend, he gave me a warning. Quite a stern one. A warning? You're kidding. What did he say? He was right after you and I became best friends. Excuse me. You're Miss Kano, correct? I've done some research, and I see you recently have been getting to know the lady of my household. As the heir to the Tojo family, there's no shortage of people with ulterior motives who try to get close to her, which causes quite the hassle for me as well. Please understand that if you try anything funny, you will make an enemy of the Tojo family. Okay. I don't feel like that means that he's in love with me, but he's just a little bit of a psycho, which we're okay with. A wave of emotions rushed over me. No way. Ridiculous. Unbelievable. Kasuga had been really happy for me when I first told him I'd made a friend. I couldn't believe that he did that to Samugi behind my back. I didn't want to believe it. I mean, was it a little harsh? Yeah, but like within his job purview, maybe. You know what I mean? Is be like, listen, don't fuck with her. And then if Samugi was just in it to fuck with me, she'd be like, all right, peace out. You know what I mean? She was like, obviously, I'm actually wanting to be her friend, thanks. And she stuck with it. Kasuga just gave her a warning. You gonna mess with my bitch? I'll make you sleep with the fishes. I'm just saying. However, I didn't simply back down, even though he said that, which is good. I told him logically that my goal was not to ingrate myself with the Tojo family, and that you needed a friend. Ingratiate myself, sorry about that wrong. And then I gave him a warning of my own. I told Kasuga that I'd expose his attempts to rob you of a friend, Spacey, and my persuasion was a success. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love this a little. Like, Kasuga, like, big man on campus, and then Samugi is like, I'll fucking kick your ass. And he's like, well, she fucking would, wouldn't she? And then he just... I like that Samugi can one-up Kasuga. Oh. Well, it wasn't until after I visited the estate and he saw that your grandfather liked me that he actually stopped bothering me. In other words, he approved of her because he deemed Samugi to be beneficial to me? Even though I didn't want to believe it, I hated that I could understand Kasuga's thought process since he always put me first. Don't make that face! I have a good relationship with Kasuga now. We've formed a sort of alliance. We're called the Spacey Protection Alliance. Kasuga and I share the same affection for you, after all. Arimura shook her head at Samugi as she giggled. I can't be bothered to deal with all that nonsense. I did what I needed to handle it. You mean, he went after you too, Arimura? Well, yeah, you know. He approached me on the street a few days after I exchanged Wisp messages with you. He wasn't as blatant as he was with Samugi, but he basically said that if I was a bad influence on you, he'd make me disappear. Yeah, exactly! I only threw that out there as a joke, but like, damn, Kasuga, shit, he's in the Mafia. Well, Samugi had warned me that he'd probably turn up, so it wasn't that bad. Why didn't either of you tell me? We were of two minds about it, but we knew that Kasuga was a very important part of your life. Plus his actions were for your own good, if a tad overprotective. I mean, if you went to those lengths, I thought that was proof enough. I couldn't disagree when she put it like that. Actually, if it hadn't been for recent events, I probably wouldn't have believed it. Even if it came from Samugi. But compared to what you and Taiga talked about, there's definitely something off. This is going way beyond simply being overprotective. Oh my god, I hope you're right and he's in love with me, because that would just make my fucking game. Like, I was just really prepared for the game not to let me marry Kasuga. It's not gonna let me marry Kasuga, but like if it's totally like that's fine, he's my butler, but I bang him on the side. I'm okay with that. I'll take it. I'm just saying. Let me do this, man. So gross. Just let me be in love with him, okay? This is all I'm asking. Right. Looking back on his actions up to and including this most recent event, it almost seems as if he wants you to be isolated, Spacey. That's not where I expected you to go with that. No, let me rephrase. As if he's trying to force the phrase, I'm your only ally, to be true. The problem is, what's the reason for him to go that far? You think your butler has a thing for you? I hope my butler has a thing for me, because I have a thing for my butler. The sudden subject shift made me shake my head quickly. No, it's definitely not that. I don't think that's it either. If that was what he was after, then they would have fallen in love with each other a long time ago. God damn it, game! You gave me hope for like, I gotta cry. The game gave me hope for like half a fucking second, that it bamboozled me. Because I was like, we gotta fall in love with Kasuga, right? And it's like, we're not gonna fall in love with this tonight. They're not gonna let me have Kasuga. And I was prepared for that. And then it was like, I think he's got feelings for you. Then you're like, oh, so he's not related to me. It's because he's in love with me. And then they're like, no, that's not it. Son of a bitch. These goddamn criminal masterminds who wrote this shit. I hate you. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. It's genius. But you're assholes. I applaud the assholishness of what you're doing here, but like, goddamn it hurts. Because again, that's fucking shining beacon of a moment where you're like, wait. Is Kasuga in love with me? Because that'd be perfect. That's exactly what Nope! Oh, I'm so depressed. I wish I had a drink, because I need to do shots now to get rid of this pain in my chest. Oh, good lord. Okay, so he doesn't feel that way. Then that's actually more problematic. Oh, but I want... This is the... If I hadn't expected it to be like this all along... Well, for a long time anyway. This might have actually made me legitimately cry. This would have been, what, the third time I just bawl like a baby because they don't let me have Kasuga? How dare you? It's a toy that I want, though! Anyway. Yes, it's the most troublesome kind of pattern. The two of them proceeded to talk about one thing after another, but I couldn't think about that. Is Kasuga trying to control me? But why would he? He'd been my ally ever since he became my personal butler when I was 9 years old. I just hate the fact that now they're making, like... I liked the idea when they were going with, he's got ulterior motives, it's because he's in love with you. Oh, okay. But it's like, now he's got ulterior motives, he's evil! But I don't like this. I don't like where this is going. That's not nice. Stop it. It's because he's my brother and he's overprotective? Okay, fine, but like, I'm still in love with him. Then you're saying I can't fall in love with him still? I don't know. I didn't want to doubt him. I don't either, and I don't like this game for making me even consider it for half a second. But similarly, I didn't want to doubt Samugi and Arimura either. I'll doubt them all fucking goddamn day. Because even though I hadn't known them as long, they were my best friends. What the heck am I supposed to believe? What should I believe? I looked up at the clock and was startled by the time. Time for Kasuga to come pick me up. My breath came out like a strangled gasp as I turned to the girls. How should I act when I see him? Spacey! How about we go to my place? I'll contact Kasuga for you, okay? I think that's a good idea, too. If you go home in the state you're in now, he'll suspect something right away. And then you'll really be screwed. The serious expression on Arimura's face took my breath away. Got it. I looked down and saw my hands were shaking and trembling. Not just grandfather, but even Kasuga. What in the world's going on? Why is this happening? I really wish that they hadn't brought up the whole love thing, and it was like, what's his ulterior motives? And then we were all worried about it, and then it was, Kasuga's in love with us. And it was like, oh, we're dumb! Oh, we didn't think about that. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want Kasuga to be in love with us, and they just took that away from me. You doing oh, that was, you're alive from Arimura, anyway. You doing okay? Not too overwhelmed, I hope. I'm thinking I might have been too blunt with you earlier. It's okay. Though, it's kind of a shock. What did Kasuga say to you? You want to know? Yes, please. Okay. I think some of it was because you wanted to be friends. He didn't actually say we couldn't be, but apparently he looked up all my friends and partners and threatened to expose it all if I did anything to steer you wrong. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. I'm not defenseless, you know. I can take apart his information network whenever I want. Wow, that's so cool. What are you saying? Anyway, I'm fine. Forget me and start worrying about yourself. Thanks. Let me know if you need anything. See ya. Why is Kazuma the apple of his eye? Takamune insists on a choice for a suitor. Hearing this, Kasuga makes a quiet decision. Oh, okay, interesting. I don't want to. Oh, so this is going a little bit back in time. Okay. What? Now, if you'll pardon me, I have homework I must finish for the night. Spacey, wait! Kasuga's shady face, I love this. She barely managed to keep herself together, and that was all she seemed to care about for now. Spacey ran out of the reception room, leaving me behind. I don't blame her. I know, I do! We left the most important person in my life behind, Kasuga. Even though he might be evil. But I don't like this. I don't like that the game is making me doubt Kasuga. I love Kasuga. How dare you, game? Everything that the master said was true. Even I knew that. However, it must have been very difficult for Spacey to come to terms with. However, it would have been a problem if she had accepted it so easily. Please excuse me as well, sir. The master glared at me with a resentful look as I stood up from my seat. So, what are you going to do, Kasuga? The fastest way to keep the branch families in check is to choose a tentative fiancé. I shall abide by Miss Spacey's decision. Just what have you got in mind? Whatever do you mean? Don't play innocent with me. If you're willing to follow my instructions, and you should be able to talk my little girl into it easily. Sure, I could have done that. But what I could do, and what I wanted to do, were two different things. I smiled courteously, then spoke. You give me too much credit, master. I'm merely Miss Spacey's butler, nothing more. You little... What the hell are you babbling about? I beg your pardon. These are absolutely my true feelings. As long as she wants me as her personal butler, my stance will not change. Now, if you'll excuse me, Miss Spacey's waiting. I will contact you later, sir. I was not so asinine that I didn't understand what the master was concerned about. He seemed to be growing impatient at his inability to comprehend my intentions, but I can't waste time telling him. Waste time telling me! I love that they're keeping this a mystery, like what the fuck is happening. Spacey was talking with Mr. Isurugi in the courtyard after running away from the master. Mr. Isurugi, might I ask what brings you to the mansion today? Just running a few errands is all. That's when I tripped over Princess here. Is that so? Would you care to return with us to the vacation home? I'm fine. Haven't finished what I came here to do yet, after all. I see. Oh, well then, Miss Spacey. Right. As I urged Spacey to the main gate, I thought about the situation. I knew that he was a member of the master's staff, but I didn't expect him to run into Spacey here. And for that matter, Spacey's reaction was strange. Did he succeed in deceiving her? Or perhaps... I then nonchalantly asked Spacey a question. So, what did you and Mr. Isurugi talk about? What? An obvious overreaction. After observing her nervousness, I spoke calmly. I'll not force you. Just let me know when you feel like talking. Okay. Come now, into the car. I opened the door and she jumped in as if she were making an escape. Hey! You stop that! No, you're being a jerk! Bird's being an asshole. Spacey was silent and seemed troubled about something. I stole glances at her while thinking things over. She always lets me know whenever something happened before. Now she doesn't hesitate to hide things from me. And this is a problem. She was also growing up. And Naturally, I was prepared for the limitations of treating her as I did when she was a child, but... And you were also a child, by the way. I guess it's all going according to the old man's plan after all. I couldn't ignore this displeasing reality. And it's like, okay, but I want this... It makes Kasuga sound so shady, but I really wanted to turn around, like, then be like, yeah, nah, you'd have fallen in love a long time ago if he was totally into you. But then again... I really, I'm clinging to the fucking desperate hope that it's like, he really is in love with us, but he's just being a buller, and he's like, I can't tell her that I'm in love with her, but I'm trying to, like, so then she's like, I want to be with you, Kasuga. Oh, thank God! I've been trying to, like, lure you over here with candy, but you know what I mean? Like, I want that to be what he's being shady about. But he's just not telling us because they may want you to wonder and be like, what's he hiding? And then it's like, oh, he is in love with us. You son of a... I want them to double bamboozle me. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, is Kasuga in love with us? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh. And then it's like, but really he is. And you're like, oh, that's what I want. Do it. Come on. I double dog dare you, game. Give me what I want. In a way, I knew this would happen. It all started that day. This is out of the question. It's not even worth discussing. I read through all 4 of their background checks and immediately tossed them away. Which part are you talking about? The arranged marriage with Shinzaki or the prospective grooms? The latter, of course. It was still early summer at the time. The master had summoned me suddenly and told me to come to the estate by myself. I cautiously visited the estate and was told the news. The arranged marriage with Shinzaki that was being pushed by the branch families and the suitors the master selected to circumvent the match. And also about living together with them. I'm against her engagement to Shinzaki, so this will do. The Shinzaki heir was the perfect partner for the head of the Tojo family. However, he was not a desirable match for Spacey. And the fact that the master prepared other groom candidates to avoid this arranged marriage was... Well, I suppose this is unavoidable. And the only problem is... I have a general idea of what your aim is, sir. However, these men are ill-suited for her. Is that so? I believe I've rounded up the perfect partners. And then you wonder, like, it would be really great if our grandfather, like, again, my whole dream, this whole game has been like, when I rounded up these chucklefucks so you realize Kasuga was the best match, but you're a fucking idiot, and you picked one of these morons. I mean, I guess he's okay, but, I mean, like, he likes Taiga, so we picked Taiga, he's like, I mean, I guess it's not what my intention was, but okay. I mean, his intention is, like, pick someone you actually like. But I kind of feel like he's like, pick these guys, here's these 4, so you're like, I don't want those, I want to marry Kasuga, and he's like, thank fucking God. That's what I just want for this whole game. Be like, Kasuga. And he's like, alright. That's awesome. Preposterous. Listen here, Kasuga. Sooner or later, Spacey will choose a husband and get married. Look, see, Kasuga doesn't like this idea. But Kasuga's shocked face right now is, like, telling me that, like, maybe he's in love. God damn it. I just really want to believe it so hard. I'm just going to live in this fantasy world until the game rips it out of my cold, dead hands. And no matter how much you cherish her, you'll never be able to marry Spacey. You understand that, right? Huh? See? But our grandfather's right here like this! But throwing that in there. So, like, I'm just saying... So Kasuga is in love with... God damn it, game! Damn it! So we're gonna go the single independent. I'm not gonna marry anyone. I don't have a secret love affair with my butler. I am here for this. That's fine. I'll take it. Marrying Kasuga would be, like, the perfect ending, but, like, being, like, single independent woman, but, like, boning my sexy butler. I'm okay with that. That's, like, just a little bit, like, okay. That's also awesome. You need not tell me. I had intended to look for a groom for her myself when the time came. Allow me to say this. Surely there must be someone more suitable for Miss Spacey than them. I actually really like the inference here, because he's like, you can't marry her, you know that, right? And he's like, I know that! I'd have picked someone else! But, like, inside he's dying a little. Please, God. Oh my God, come on. Please don't rip this away from me. Because that would also be, you can't marry her. Ew! Please don't let us be related, because that would make this conversation slightly weird. Can't marry her, you know. Kasuga really should have been like, ew! But I kind of feel like they're trying to give you... Independent power woman, sexy butler boyfriend on the side. Fine with this. That's an awesome ending. Let's go. That's my true route. Fuck yeah! I'm here for this! Don't take it away from me, game! Because then technically we get Kasuga. That's all that matters. Okay? Doesn't have to be our husband. He can just be our sexy butler on the side that we just romance. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I still get Kasuga, right? I'm just saying. Not that I might absolute confidence in my opinion. I was so confident that I believed I could even persuade the master. However, I misjudged. The master wasn't only targeting Spacey, and I realized that a little too late. Kasuga, this was a miscalculation on my part, but I believe it's also a good opportunity. A good opportunity? You know it too. Her experiences are too limited. I provide her with what she needs. She doesn't need to consider anything else yet. Definitely overprotective, but God, I love him. If she doesn't broaden her horizons now, it'll definitely cause problems later. How absurd. Well, that's what she has me for. On that note, all the candidates that I've selected have something she doesn't. So whoever she ends up with, it'll work out. I had plenty of counter-arguments ready, but the master's eyes were firm and filled with determination. I'm just keeping you informed. This is a done deal. Ugh. A done deal. I detested nothing more than those words. There was no way a mere butler could resist if this was the master's decision. I choked down all my thoughts and kept quiet. Be that as it may, I'm sure you're anxious about suddenly bringing strangers into her life. I'll give you 1 month of summer vacation. During that time, the 4 of them can live together first, and we'll see what they're like. And we'll make sure that those excessively strong-willed boys can live together under one roof. It's not like I'll be able to just kick them out, even if we're assessing how they behave. If I could get a good grasp of their personalities ahead of time, and then I can lay the groundwork behind the scenes. I guess I'll have to compromise here. That thinking definitely proved to be careless. The master knew that well, but on the surface, he appeared nonchalant about lobbing a bomb into my lap. And by the way, Kasuga, did you still need something? The good opportunity I mentioned earlier, it applies to you too. To me? It's time for you to start thinking about what you're going to do with yourself instead of doing that forever. I felt chilled to the core when I heard those words. Does that mean you'll separate me from Miss Spacey? So pissed about it. Grandpa's gonna turn up dead. And it's gonna be Kasuga who murdered him. Oh, that's okay, Miss Spacey. I'll be with you forever. Thank fucking God. Things might turn out that way. Besides, she's already 17. She's still a girl, but she might not need you one day. Don't hurt Kasuga. I just want to hold Kasuga and pat him. It's okay. I'll always need you. Let me dress my goddamn self, okay? I'm just saying. No matter how well you've taken care of her, that little bird might leave your cage when she learns what love is, you know. What do you do when that happens? Kasuga? Maybe Kasuga could show us what love is, and then we won't need to leave the cage. I'm just saying. Miss Spacey no longer needing me. I never thought about that before. And I'd never think about it again. Because that will absolutely never happen. At that moment I stared down the master as not just a mere butler. And I was sure he wasn't talking to a mere butler either. After we briefly exchanged glances, I nodded slowly. Understood. I shall take care of this matter as you wish. But then I'm not just a mere butler. Are you doing that because you're my brother? Or are you doing this because you're in love with me? I'm very confused as to where this is going, because it's kind of leading you like, maybe, because he's like, you can't marry her, you know, and he's like, yeah, I'm aware of that, but that doesn't mean that he's not in love with us. And that wasn't like a clear, like, that'd be gross, we're related. You know, but like, think about it. You can't marry her. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Could be because I'm just a butler, so I'm not allowed to be in love with her. And even if I am in love with her, I can't marry her. Or could absolutely be the, yeah, I'm aware of that because I'm a brother and that'd be fucking weird. I'm just saying, you could put it either way. It doesn't give a clear indication of why he's like, I know. You know why. You know why, Kasuga. Stop it. This game is not... I love this because I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. I'm like, is he our brother and that's why he can't marry us? Is he in love with us and you can't marry us because he's just our, like, butler? Like, I don't... Like, he's not good enough, with air quotes around this, in the eyes of the Tojo family to be my husband? So I just gotta be like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna do this shit solo woman style. What? And then, meanwhile, Kasuga tells us what to do, and then we just have a secret relationship with him. Because that's what I want. That's fine. I'll take it. Happy with that. I'm fucking fine with that if he's my half-brother or some shit. Cool, whatevs. Don't take Kasuga away from me is all I'm saying, because it's giving me hope again, and I really just hate when this game keeps dashing my hopes. I don't like it. We're having a good time, don't fucking ruin it.
As I learn more about the suitor's true natures, it's quite clear to me that Miss Spacey is going to undergo a change. It's frustrating that the master chose them and had foresight to know this would happen. He was definitely accurate. These thoughts rolled around in my mind as I watched her close her eyes and drift off, her fatigue reaching its limit. So far, things had gone according to the master's plan. Every time she tried to hide something from me, she grew more distant, like she was trying to leave the nest. However, if you think this will go exactly as you expect, Master, you are sorely mistaken.
I love Kasuga's shady look. Please sweep me away. Take me away, Kasuga.
I still had an ace up my sleeve. And the plan I'd prepared in case this happened. I have to make sure to determine the right moment, and this absolutely cannot end in failure. I'd soon arrive at the villa, spend the rest of the car ride preoccupied with my thoughts and refining my plans.
Oh god, Kasuga, take me away! They just really make it seem like Kasuga's gonna sweep us away. You know, and he's like, I don't care, I will take you away. That's great. A certain someone's dark secrets. Kasuga's dark secrets? Truths revealed. Taiga takes me to see grandfather. He tells me about missing memories and a certain someone's dark secrets. Oh god, stop it! Stop! The day after I slept over at Samugi's house, I went straight from her place to school. Not a single lecture stuck in my mind that day. Oh god, I need to know. Ah! After class, as Samugi and I said our goodbyes, she gave me a worried glance. I have never been, like, fucking so on edge in this game until now when we're getting behind all the Kasuga shit. Okay, I'm just saying. The rest of the game was like a fun fucking ride, don't get me wrong, but I am like, oh my god, I'm so stressed, I'm shaking, like, come on, get to it! What's happening? Fuck! It's because it's Kasuga and I love him so fucking much.
Welcome back, Miss Spacey.
I was finally face to face with Kasuga. Oh, no. The discussion we'd had during our girls' night flitted across my mind. Miss Spacey, Kasuga's feelings for you that go beyond what's appropriate. Is he a stalker? Like, but again, feelings that go beyond what's appropriate. You know what I mean? Yes, but that makes it sound like he's in love with me, or he's just possessive. Which is fine, because I mean, you know, we've played these kind of games before. Like, that's fine, I'm here for it. But that could also be like, what's appropriate is like, but the thing is like, as a butler, yes, it has to be kind of a professional distance. So you couldn't like be as overprotective as you would be about a sibling, right? Like a little sister, I'm protecting you because you're my little sister, right? That could be what she meant, but like, I feel like then that's very weird because that's, okay. Everything that we've seen so far, if Kasuga is like related to us and his feelings are overprotective, older half-brother, right? Going with the half-brother thing. That is a little borderline creepy for your brother. I mean, him being slightly possessive and demanding and like, I won't let anyone have her type of thing is slightly creepy anyway, but like, we're used to that shit in Otome games, okay? We've had enough of those characters that you're like, whatever at this point. But like, it's weird when it's like, Because it seems romantic, you know what I mean? Because we've been in it so many times with that character being romantic, air quotes around that. Like, they're a love interest. We're gonna fall in love with their freaking obsessive craziness, even though you're like, this is nuts, but I'm here for it, right? So, like, that's less creepy and weird than, like, if he's your brother and he's overprotective. You're like, I'm gonna need you to back the fuck off, bro. Wow, weird. So I really want him to be in love with us, because I'm in love with Kasuga, so it's gonna make it just even more awkward if he's just our brother and you're like, that's weird, but I want to do you. So, like, is that weird? You know what I mean? Like, then we're both really weird and awkward and we're on different pages. I'm just not feeling that. Oh, I don't know what to expect, and I don't, like, I feel like this game's going to rip my heart out. I don't like it. We've had so much fun up until now. I mean, I'm having a great time, but I'm very worried, is all I'm saying. Does he really... But...
Miss Spacey.
Kasuga spoke my name and I flinched, realizing I'd spaced out.
Is something the matter? You don't seem your usual self today.
It's nothing. Kasuga was too sharp. I knew he'd noticed something was off. Normally his gaze felt so reassuring and protective, but right now it made things awkward.
I thought something may have happened. If you like, I'll gladly lend an ear, miss. I'm always here to listen to you.
I told you it's nothing!
Yeah, I spy with my little eye. Spacey! Boy, who would have guessed I meet you here of all places? I'm so lucky.
It's the school, and this is where I go to school. Nayuta really is a fucking idiot. Oh, I gotta love him, though. My eyes widened in shock. Nayuta, of all people, popped up out of nowhere. What? Nayuta, what on earth are you doing here?
I went out for a jog and I was like, oh hey, it's almost time for you to get out of school. So I came on by and when you know it, here you are.
Oh. Nayuta was standing there, a bright and innocent smile on his face, and he jogged all the way here from home? I blinked. That was no short jaunt.
Oh, anyway, I'm gonna head back and get everything ready to greet you.
What? You can come with us in the car.
Yeah, that's okay. It's just a quick run. I'll be waiting for you back at home.
He was running. We were going back by car. Did he really think he'd get there ahead of us? Actually, knowing Nayuta, he probably would. There's so many things I could say, but I stayed quiet.
Honestly, when it comes to Mr. Yagami...
Kasuga's sigh snapped me back to reality. I quickly ducked into the car before he could turn his attention back to me. I'm not sure I fully understood what happened, but thank you for that distraction, Nayuta! That said, I can't keep this up forever. I'd have to talk to him sooner or later. Kasuga?
Yes?
I opened my mouth, then closed it again and dropped my eyes. Why can't I say anything? The question hovering at the back of my mind was too blunt to ask casually. Not only that, but as I was leaving class today... I understand you must be unsure about so many things right now. But given that we can't say for certain what Kasuga's thinking, it may be wisest to avoid saying or doing anything that might, overstimulate him.
Miss Spacey.
Was everything quiet at home today?
Indeed. It was a very uneventful day.
Oh, it was just an uneventful day, not a very one. Sorry, I'm just throwing words in. Oh, that's good. Couldn't think of anything else to say, so I simply fell silent and turned to look out the window.
Miss?
Thank you. In the end, I never did think of what to say to Kasuga. By the time we arrived home, I was thoroughly gloomy. To do something. Things can't stay this way. I racked my mind, heading towards the front door. But before I managed 2 steps...
Hey, babe. I'm waiting for you.
Taiga popped out of the garage, swept up to me, and took me by the elbow. Huh? Taiga? What on earth? Ugh! He promptly tucked me right back into the car and plopped in himself.
Mr. Isurugi, what are you? Time for a date. See ya.
Before Kasuga could stop him, Taiga told the driver to start driving. Taiga, what in the world are you doing? This is simply another one of your pranks.
Let's pick up where we left off at the mansion.
Taiga took me to a restaurant downtown. What did you mean, pick up where we left off? Why bring me here?
Patience, patience. Head on in. Guest of honor's waiting for you.
Guest of honor? All of a sudden, I had a bad feeling about this. Tyga noticed my sour frown, but he just waved his hand dismissively and then pointed to the private rooms in the back. It looked like he didn't intend to accompany me. The polite staff opened the room doors for me, and I stepped inside.
I've been waiting. Come, have a seat.
Grandfather turned into Tyga for a hot second. I don't even know. Grandfather? I couldn't say I hadn't seen it coming. Not when I now understood how Tyga and Grandfather were connected. Yet, considering how we last parted, I couldn't help but be on the defensive. What is this all about?
Tyga recounted the memory about me that he heard from you.
Grandfather's normally stern expression relaxed into something almost abashed as he heaved a sigh.
Sheesh, it's been decades since anyone dared lecture me like that. Tyga chewed me out something fierce, you know. Told me to stop being stubborn and have a proper talk with you.
He actually lectured Grandfather? He must be close indeed. Tyga hadn't called Grandfather his buddy for no reason. Looking at his face now, I couldn't help but believe there was a truth to Tyga's side of the story. Following Grandfather's gaze, I seated myself across from him. With everything set up for me so neatly, there was nothing for it but to ask all the questions I had. Is the story you told me true?
Yes? Everything Tyga told you is the truth.
Even knowing what he would say, I still couldn't help but swallow. After all, that meant for more than a decade I thought he was my enemy. But this entire time he loved me? I had no choice but to accept that it was all true. To be blunt, I find it difficult to believe you care for me, especially after all this time.
Can't say I'm surprised. Partly at fault for having mostly given up on any attempt to repair my relationship with you. I'm sorry.
The Iron Leader of the influential Tojo family, who had always been in complete control and detached from emotion, was bowing to me. It was, frankly, a stunning sight.
I'm starting to believe the inability to admit our true feelings runs in the Tojo line. Father and I butted heads constantly as well. The result? He eloped. Thought I knew best and it backfired on me. Never once had issue making a proper business decision, but my decisions at Holmes were one failure after another. Because of that, I grew timid. I hesitated to interact with you honestly. Ashamed of myself.
Stop, please. I couldn't say anything. All I could do was sit and listen, my hands balling into fists in my lap. Don't say things like that. Stay villainous. Keep being a hateful old coot and shriveled vulture. Because if you aren't, I've been an utter fool for years.
Spacey, it's alright. You needn't force yourself to forgive me. We simply need to take it slow and learn to grow closer together after all the years we spent drifting apart, that's all. Besides, I asked for your presence today to tell you an even more important truth.
Oh God, I don't want to know! What more important truth?
Your parents are alive.
What? Okay, I didn't see that coming. What? My mind went blank. I couldn't muster the strength to ask if he was joking. Oh God, and this is where you tell me that Kasuga is my half-brother. Grandfather saw I was frozen in shock and nodded sagely. Slowly, solemnly, he began to talk. Holy shit, I didn't expect our parents not be dead.
Father turned up his nose at all the potential brides I presented to him and instead eloped with the girl he was dating at the time. He vanished completely. Two eked out a quiet living in the home they kept, but one day the two of them died in an unfortunate accident. The last gift they left behind was you. That's the story you've been told, correct?
And I was like, they're dead but they're not? Okay, this is where we got. I nodded. Grandfather sighed again.
The elopement, the birth of a child, the meager life, that was all true. But they hadn't vanished. I knew precisely where they were. The fool of a son kept in touch with his mother, your grandmother. He told her they'd moved to England and had a child. Sheesh, it's a deplorable story. Truly, I was unable to be there to celebrate the birth of not only my first grandchild, but my second one as well.
Oh God, Kasuga is our fucking brother! Oh! Okay, but can I just seriously ask if he's a full-on brother? Why is he our butler and why is he not the Tojo family heir? This makes no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Second one? I couldn't help but blurt out the words. I was so shocked. Grandfather grimaced, then nodded. I hate this. I knew the game was going to rip it away from me. You're like, wait, Kasuga loves it. Kasuga came in. Wait. And it's like, no, it's because he's your brother. Fuck A. But again, that makes no fucking sense. I hate this game right
Oh, yes? I have 2 grandchildren. One's you, Spacey.
Oh, God. Oh, this is Kasuga.
The other's named
Tsubame? Tsubame? Yeah.
He's your elder brother.
Brother? I have an older brother?
Indeed.
My parents, who'd I long thought dead, were alive. Not only that, I also had an older brother? If I wasn't hearing this from Grandfather himself, I would have laughed it off as a fantasy story.
Since you lost your memories of your early childhood, I'm sure you don't remember him. From all that I heard, you and your brother were close. Very, very close.
Like me and Kasuga?
Worryingly so, even.
But I was 5, so that doesn't seem... For some reason, Grandfather looked like he'd just bitten into an especially sour lemon. So... Okay, wait. I'm just throwing this out there. You're worryingly close to your brother. I was 5, so that's disturbing in its wording. Unless you mean because he's, like, controlling you and you do whatever he says and, like, it's disturbing, you're not being your own person because your brother's influencing you and, like, you need to develop your own person. Okay, fine. So then you make him my butler? That doesn't make any sense! So, like, you ought to be like, you feel like the outcome is that freaking Kasuga is my brother, because remember when we opened the thing and it's like, what's my real name? And it's like, wait, what now? And so this is where I feel like this is going. But if you were concerned, I'm just concerned because you're a little too close to your brother and I think he puppet masters you. Because, like, I'm 5, so the other implication of that is really disturbing. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So let's just be like, he's puppet mastering you, okay? He's controlling you and you don't have a thought in your own head because you do whatever he says and, like, that's fucking weird. Okay, why would you then hire him to be my butler? That doesn't make any sense! And why would he not be the heir to the family? You know what I mean? And then why would my grandfather even throw that? You can't marry her. And then him not be, ew. He's like, yeah, I know. And it wasn't in a, yeah, I know, because that'd be weird. It's just more like, I'm very confused. I mean, they're going to tell us what's going on, but I'm just throwing it out there. The fucking math isn't mathing for me right now. So curious. It didn't take long for me to realize why. Grandfather launched into a tale of what my brother was like, and it left me stunned.
Where to begin?
After heaving a sigh, Grandfather took a moment to collect his words. Yeah, no, that's Kasuga! That's fucking Kasuga! This doesn't make any sense! Why you would have my brother who's puppet mastering me be my butler when you know he's puppet mastering me. Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense, is all I'm saying. But that's fucking Kasuga right there, you can tell, with the fucking hair. His first grandchild, Tsubame, the child, my older brother, was born in faraway England. He was a surprisingly easy child to raise. He grew up quickly and learned how to walk and talk much earlier than most infants. I suppose he was a prodigy of sorts. A talented child who was destined to become a Nobel-winning scientist or a prominent politician or something similarly lofty. However, his parents couldn't be completely happy about his prodigious efforts. Prodigious efforts? Being with him all day, every day, they quickly saw the multitude of ways in which he didn't act like a normal child. His gaze was worryingly cold and calculating. He had a condescending attitude toward his parents. He was distant and aloof. He lacked any childlike charm. Instead of feeling proud, his parents were at a loss about what to do with their stony, unsmiling child. Not much later, I was born, and suddenly Tsubame had a little sister. Considering Tsubame's underdeveloped sense of empathy, my parents were understandably very worried about how he'd react to me. But to their surprise, when my mother brought me home from the hospital and Tsubame met me for the first time, the very first thing he said was, adorable.
Adorable.
I'm just saying,
My little sister is the cutest baby in the whole world.
I'm just throwing it out there. It's fucking Kasuga. You can tell by the haircut, and I'm just... My parents couldn't believe their ears. Tsubame, who had turned up his nose at every gift they'd given him and was apathetic about everything life offered him, had, for the first time, expressed emotion. It seemed like a little sister was exactly what Tsubame needed in order for his emotions to finally develop properly. That's what my parents believed, anyway. But at first, my parents happily stood by and watched as my brother played with me and helped with my care. But it wasn't long before Tsubame's affection morphed into a worrying sister complex. By the time my parents realized there was a problem, it was too late. Also, he's only like 3 years older than us, so you're telling me this is a 3-year-old? This is more like he's like 5 or 6 or something, but he's only a few years older than us. So this, again, it doesn't quite make sense logically that a 3-year-old is like taking care of a 3-year-old can barely fucking manage their own shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's strange. Like, I don't think that they, like, the backstory in this would make more sense if Kasuga was a few years older than that, unless they're lying to you about how old Kasuga is. And they're like, actually, we told you Kasuga's only 3 years older than you, but he was actually like 6 years older than you. That would have made more sense, you know? So, I know I'm not supposed to like look for 100% logic in our games, but like this is throwing me off where it's not mathing still. You're like that. And again, so he has a sister complex. It's worrying. So they send me to go live with you, and then you bring in Kasuga. Maybe it's going to be like, well, because your memory, you broke something in my head, and the Kasuga was the only thing we thought could bring you out, but then all of a sudden it was like, well, shit, now we got to get you married. Because, like, you know what I mean? It just seems like it's a dangerous thing to bring Kasuga into my life after you took him away from me because there was a weird thing going on, and now you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just took a bunch of numbers, threw it on the wall, and called it a fucking equation, and it's not mathing. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm into it. I'm, like, intrigued by this. This is some fucked up shit, but, like, it doesn't quite, the math isn't adding up for me, so, like, I'm finding it hard to wrap my brain around this, but they'll explain it, so sure. Aside from my nursing, he monopolized all care of me.
I'm gonna be the one to take care of her. She says she wants me to, too. I don't think of butting in, Mom. Dad, I'll teach her everything she needs to know.
Again, he's like 3, 4 maybe at the time.
Right, Spacey. You like it best when I teach you things, don't you?
My parents reprimanded him for being too possessive, but he nitpicked at their parenting in retaliation.
You're her parents. You ought to provide a more appropriate environment for her. She's the most adorable girl on earth, you know. She deserves to be treated like the world's most precious princess. See that you do so, immediately.
I mean, I know he's our brother, full-on brother, but, like, again, games have been setting me up for this, and I prepared. So, like, now that we're here, I'm not like, I'm like, all right. You think that's gonna stop me, game, but it's not. It should. But again, we've been on the debauchery train for too long, and I've been preparing myself for this in a whole other game, so didn't think I was gonna need that skill in this one, but here we are. Just saying. Tsubame was dead serious, too. That's what made it so frightening. If left alone, both Tsubame and my young self would grow up emotionally unhealthy, to put it mildly. Well, yeah, but like, alright. Seriously disturbed, my parents decided to take action. When I was 5 years old and Tsubame was 7. Okay, he's only 2 years older than us. They made it sound like he was 3, I thought. But anyway, still. So a 2-year-old, when you bring me home from the hospital, is throwing all this shit out. I'm just saying. Yes, over a few years. But again, those words aren't coming out of a 2-year-old's mouth. The little motherfucker can barely, like, he's shitting himself. He's not saying this. So that, again, that doesn't make sense. I know I'm not supposed to look for logic in that, like the age difference. It's like, shh, just go with it. But that bothers me. Spacey will live with her father's old family. And my father had ostensibly cut all ties with his birth family. He was still in touch with his mother. He asked her for help, and she responded instantly. Keeping it a secret from Tsubame, they steadily got everything in order. Finally, all was in readiness, and the day arrived for me to leave. However, Tsubame was frighteningly sharp. He sniffed out their plan and attempted to take me and run away. At 7! I gotta love it.
How dare you try to take her away from me? I'll never let that happen.
You know, I don't hate this. It's really kind of disturbing, but I'm kind of here for it. We've done almost as bad, if not worse, in games. I'm just saying, it's never been the brother before, but I feel like we've just missed out. I don't want to say lucked out. We've missed out on, like, creepy brother routes. I'm just saying, there's been a game that's been localized that they're like, you're dating your brother. I feel like Like, North American audiences are like, oh, we can't do it. What? That's weird. Really? Half our fucking states inbreed. I'm just saying, the royal fam, I'm just saying, English-speaking people should not be, like, judging games being localized that might have, like, weird incest going on. Because, like, it's just, you just don't want to get called out for it? I'm just saying. Because, like, white people do this shit all the time. So, we shouldn't be like, how dare there be a game that they made in a whole other country that talks about incest? Oh, it's horrifying. Really? Grandma, isn't that your cousin? It's my grandpa? I'm just throwing that out there. Who's also parents were at this point, it's a shrub. So I'm just throwing it out there that, like, I'm just surprised that they haven't localized more games with weirder fucking shit. So, I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there where they're starting to be like, we can, like, do some weird shit in games and localize that shit and people are going to eat it up. Hell yeah! You've eased us in, is basically. They're like, here's a couple of, like, tame games. And now you're like, give me the shit! Come on. At least for me, that's worked. Because if this was one of the first few games, I would have been like, what the fuck? What the heck? Ah! And now I'm like, alright. That's okay. I'm gonna just roll up my sleeves and dig in. I'm okay. It's fine. It's cool. I'm here for it. Doesn't bother me. Give it done. Just me and Kasuga, weird relationship. We're gonna do this. Twincest for the wincest. I know we're not twins, but... oh my god. Anyway.
I'm the only one who can raise her properly, and no one in the whole world can guide her as well as I can. I'm the only one who's fit to do this.
At 7, mind you. Like, I mean, I know he's deceptively sharp and intelligent, but I don't think he was talking like this at 7. But, I mean, especially wasn't taking care of us and having perfect speech at 2, but... But despite Tsubame being a prodigy, a 7-year-old can only get so far with such an ambitious undertaking. Yeah. In the middle of the escape, I was apparently caught up in an accident. I sustained a hard blow to the back of my head, but fortunately I was never in any danger of dying. But when I awoke, it became clear that the shock of the injury had caused me to lose my memories. Oh my god, that's gotta kill Kasuga. To know that, like, he caused that. My parents were, of course, absolutely livid. They declared that Tsubame's twisted love for me was detrimental and dangerous. I'm here for this twisted love, though. Having made up their minds, my parents informed Tsubame that he would not be permitted to see me again until he repented his actions. But I can't not call him Kasuga, because that's the name we've known him for most of our life, so he's always going to be Kasuga to me. Listening to Grandfather tell the tale, bitterness plain on his face, I felt my own expression grow more and more numb. And but she's not seeing the little chibi shadow that we see. So she's like, well, my brother, that sounds crazy. And he's like, oh, by the way, it's Kasuga. So she's not ready for this reveal. Oh, shit. I wasn't sure what I ought to be surprised about anymore. Oh, wait for it. Even learning that Grandfather truly cared paled next to the bombshell about my parents being alive, and the news that I had an abnormal older brother. I can feel the king of all headaches coming on. I really hope this doesn't change her mind about Kasuga, because, like, I love Kasuga, and I'll be so pissed if she doesn't stop and go, let's get your memories back, and then be like, it was always you, Kasuga. Let's just run away with our brother. Come on. Game? You threw this in there. You knew we were going to fall in love with Kasuga. You knew. And then you go to this point where Kasuga has a weird, unhealthy freaking obsession with us. And then you're not going to let us just full ride this fucker? I'm just saying. You can't back out now. Balls to the walls. Let's go. Floor it, bitches. I told you it wasn't going to stop me. I'm like, nah, I'm here for it. Let's go. Not even a little perturbed by this. Only perturbed by the fact that you can't math and you're just like, he's a prodigy. That's why at 2 he was like, get your math straight. But I'm still here for dating my brother. It's cool. As I desperately tried to untangle everything I'd heard, I asked Grandfather the first question that came to mind. Oh, God. Why tell me that Mother and Father died in an accident?
There are multiple reasons. One's the obvious, to avoid the problems it would cause in regards to who's the true heir to the Tojo family. Another stems from how you had no memories when you first came to us.
Tell me you did it because you thought that if I heard my parents were dead, I'd be more obedient to you.
Well, for your information, that idea came from your father, not me. He was the one who asked me to tell you you and your mother were dead.
Father did?
He may be my own son, but even I'll admit he's an odd one. Don't ask. You'll only regret it.
He's an odd one. I mean, he did give birth to Kasuga. I'm just saying. What kind of person is he? For Grandfather to admit that much, it had to be really bad. Not just my brother. My father was abnormal too. If I heard my mother was somehow weird on top of all that, I have no idea if I'd ever recover from my shock. Then, where is my brother now? Is he still with mother and father in England?
If he was, then perhaps things wouldn't have been turned out nearly as twisted as they've become.
Grandfather stared blankly into the distance. Then slowly, hesitantly, he began to talk about what happened to my brother. The sour look on his face conveyed how he felt about the conversation. But we're at time, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to cock-block all of us. I'm going to record the next part because there's no fucking way I could stop. Even if I was like, I don't have time, I'd be like, fuck that shit. I can't handle it. But we don't have time to keep going because this is going to go for a while. And there's going to be a lot of interjections and there's going to be a lot of like me fucking losing my shit. So I'm going to get a goddamn fucking drink and I'm going to record the next fucking part because we're going to need it. So I'm just telling you. Before you start the next part, get a fucking drink ready, bitches, because we're going to need this shit, okay? So I will see you next time, and we'll get the full-on fucking reveal that Kasuga's our brother. We already know, but I'm just saying. The reveal is just like, you're just waiting for it. You're waiting for that curtain to fucking lift. I can't wait for this. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more.